let's talk about some fights that have been recently announced that I'm excited about. And this is going to be on the Miocic versus Dos Santos fight card in May 13th from Dallas, Texas. One fight, lightweight division. Eddie Alvarez is going to be fighting Dustin Poirier. What do you think of that? I like that.
That's a good fight.
I think that's a very good fight.
It's a great fight.
I'm interested. I'm always interested to see when a guy like Eddie Alvarez and they just get done with probably the most humiliating. And I'm not attacking it. I love Eddie. Eddie's been in here before.
Eddie's a good.
But probably the most humiliating defeat. You know, I'm good. I got that rid of right away when I got that spinning back fist. I got rid of that my first fight. So you couldn't shame me anymore that highlight. So after that, I'm like, all right, I got thick skin now. But like, you know, you get that high profile fight like he had versus Conor, where all eyes are on you and it's your moment, and then, you know, and then things really just go south, and it's a fight that you just had like the worst showing, and you know, I can relate. I had a couple fights where I had shitty showings.
Yeah, but I mean, but the Shoney fight, you were actually
I'm not
great
ashamed
moments. I mean,
that was good. My second GSP fight was horseshit. Yeah. But hey, listen, sometimes you do hammer, and sometimes you don't do so well in Canada. Yeah. But his fight with Conor obviously went, you know, furthest. It went as bad as it can go, pretty much. You know what I mean? It's almost better if you just get hit once and knocked out. But the fact that it just looked so one-sided. This is a great guy for him to show that, hey man, look, I'm back on the horse. Yeah. I mean, Dustin Poirier is that guy. What I like about Dustin Poirier, there's a guy that he handles losses well. I don't know. I mean, there's guys that'll lose and then they'll come back and they're never the same. He's had fights where he lost, he comes back and he looks better. I mean, it's weird.
Yeah, look, we're in a sport now where one win or loss doesn't make a champion, and if you can't get over your losses and grow, you're in trouble. And I think Bisping's a freaking great example of that, man. He's been knocked out bad. He comes back. He's this. He perseveres, and that guy's a fighter. Man, I say this.
Who'd you just say, Bisping?
Bisping, yeah, Mike. So I mean, even Henderson, he hammers him the first round. He comes out in that second round like nothing happened. I mean, the guy's a fighter. He likes what he's doing. He's having a good time. He's had losses. He's had wins. He's up and down. And you know what? He stuck around long enough. He got his shot. He took advantage of it. And that's what I really respect about him the most, you know?
Since you brought up Michael Bisping, what do you think about that? We didn't even talk about that. What do you think about him versus George St. Pierre, who was on here the other day, and I had a great time talking to him.
Again, it's weird because obviously I like both guys, and I think they both deserve
take that out of
paydo. Take that. I don't like it. I think Romero should have got the shot. I think it's not fair what's happening.
Well, let's talk about it. Well, I'm with you with that. Like in a sense. Well, I don't know. I'm interested in seeing this fight. To be honest with you, and I don't know, Romero. I understand. Yeah, the guy is definitely right there. But look, man, Mike Bisping, the champ, he's saying that he'll fight him 6 weeks later. Is that right or wrong? I believe he said 6 weeks later. He's like, look, St. Pierre's not going to hurt me. I mean, this is all him saying it.
Right.
He goes, I'll be fighting that guy, and I'll fight him 6 weeks later. I don't blame Bisping for trying to get.
Well, I like it because look, he deserves the money.
Who's not watching that? Though?
He's been in the sport.
You're not going to watch. Who's not going to watch that? That's a fun fight to watch. I mean, there's the questions on how George is going to be. Is he going to be as dominant as he once was? Now he's fighting a guy a lot bigger. The guy's not small. I mean, I've been thinking about it. How do you think that fight's going to go down?
Man, I think 3 years is a long time, man. And Bisping is active.
He's got a great gas tank.
Yeah.
So does George.
Yeah.
It could look reminiscent of. Do you remember when he fought Thiago, who I quit is going to be fighting? Is he Thiago Alves?
Well, no, Alves fighting Sanchez. Sanchez.
What the fuck am I? Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. He was supposed to fight him.
Yeah.
What the hell am I talking about? But remember when George fought him, and that guy at the time was a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And he was very good at getting back to his feet. But then he would just get taken down again. Yeah. I mean, George would take him down. George is very good at closing the distance. But I'm trying to think and takedowns up against the cage. But Bisping's very good at getting back up.
Yeah,
hey, listen.
Plus, he's going to be dragging down probably a 210-pound guy, 5-pound guy. It's a big difference. Especially a guy that's got a great gas tank.
That's I mean,
look, there's a lot. But we don't know what George has been doing for training. But 3 years is just a long time, and. But I still think if he had a fight at 85, that this probably matches up better for him than a lot of the other guys. Like, I can't picture George in there with some of the other really
Well, I mean, you
big,
look at guys like Weidman.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
stuff,
I don't know.
they're
I
huge.
can't even. I'm saying I can't even picture that fight. I mean, Weidman's like.
It is
huge next
interesting
to him.
because when I was talking to him, George, he said the idea came from Danaher. Danaher is the one who put it. He said, "Listen, for your legacy, for and this, and then he wasn't sure. He needed a fight on paper to say that he was coming back. He
Right,
needed that
right.
fight, and it was unsure what was going on with Woodley and Wonderboy. So that's when Danaher is like, yo, you should. He pointed out the Michael Bisping fight, saying that he feels it'd be good stylistically, and he also feels it'd be phenomenal for his legacy.
Yeah, I think it's a calculated risk. Danaher's right.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, I would still like to see George versus if he's doing super fights. What about him versus is him and Anderson? Nobody gives a shit about that anymore?
I just think
You don't care about
I
that.
don't care about that.
I do. I don't know. I'm just a fight fan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why are you playing with the sweetness? You're like a bad kid in the car. I got ADD. You can't be throwing that shit around.
Isn't it obvious? I'm fucking bored.
Wait, are you serious?
Are you kidding?
Don't say that. Then people are gonna be tuning out.
Oh no.
Drink your coffee.
No. Okay.
Feel
I'll have
better.
a sip, yeah.
Come on, what's the matter with you?
Having a
The
ball.
fuck, you're bringing me. I'm gonna start talking to Chris, the producer. You're bringing me down. The fuck? My co-host won't even talk to me. Shit. Anyway,
Want some
can we
sugar in your
talk? Can we
coffee?
talk about the fights this weekend?
Yeah, let's talk.
Are you
Let's
kidding?
go.
Can we do
Yeah.
that? God knows. Listen to me, Alex. You see the Cowboy Oliveira
Yes.
versus Tim Means.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Man, I had Means winning that fight. I thought he was going to win, and I was wrong. You know, I think the
Did that
humidity
choke?
or something.
I mean, listen, you're not in. I'm not in the choke. I wasn't in the choke, but was that thing on? That was
I
a
don't know.
pretty
He
quick
just he
tap,
looked a little lackadaisical right from the get go.
right.
Yeah.
And again, he had his moments. It's weird because the Oliveira was going for some takedowns where it looks like he was almost. It was almost like some schoolyard takedowns.
Yeah, it was like muscling.
Yeah, it was like
yeah.
it wasn't exactly the
And I think maybe
smoothest-
Means was waiting for him to piss out, and then but then he got caught.
Yeah, man, he couldn't catch back. He couldn't. He wasn't. He was just up on him from the beginning, man. Even though Means looked game, he couldn't gain that ground back, and it just ended up wearing on him.
Yep.
But Cowboy stayed with it though. I mean, he was. Pretty
Nah, he
relentless.
was persistent with the wrestling for sure.
And then tell me about the Beth Carrera. Did you like that fight?
That fight, you know what was made that fight good, and it's going to be what's going to happen. I think a lot with the way they're structuring the new scoring system is that those 10-8 rounds, and that was a 10-8 round. She dominated. There's going to be a lot of draws because. You know if you're behind the first two, you got to be dominant, and then I guess it's better than losing. But
I'll tell you, now the first two rounds, I don't know how they scored that exactly. I know it's a draw, but the other girl, Marion Renew, yes, she was that last round. She was all over her. Know what I don't like about that? Like, I think Beth Carrera kind of was just banking on the fact that she felt she won those first two rounds.
Yeah, but now you can't. But that's the thing.
That's what she was doing.
Now, look, that's what I really.
She was getting mauled that last round.
Yeah, that's what I like about those pride scoring. I like the guys that finish strong and they come back after some adversity.
Yeah,
I really think
look
they
at
deserve
that.
to win. I mean, so pride rules that other girl wins.
The first two rounds were pretty close anyway.
Yeah.
But it shows you that Beth thought that she had those rounds.
Yeah.
So she definitely, because when that thing got over, she genuinely thought, all right, at least I won those two. She didn't even give a shit. She was just getting mauled.
Yeah.
And she was.
Which is weird. That's not a good sign either. The fact that you get up after that third round and think that you.
I don't like that.
I don't like that, man.
I don't like the attitude. It's like somebody that's all right. You almost submitted me in like a jiu-jitsu match. Jiu-jitsu match. Oh, you almost submitted me how many times? But I'm up on like a sweep.
Right.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you want to just win by the scorecards.
It's like running out the clock in basketball. You just
exactly. No, I wasn't a big fan of that. So I was okay with that. I was okay with that being a draw because I felt that girl, if not. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how those first two rounds were close, but she did enough in that last round to say, hey, you did. I mean,
well,
if Beth would have got her hand raised after that would have upset
that would have been horrible. But if that fight was in Japan under pride rules, that other girl wins the fight, and I don't think anybody would have had a problem with that because she really came on strong. and won a decisive, dominant third round.
How are you friends with that crackhead that we saw earlier? That guy had some issues.
Was a great guy.
Why was he here? The guy's saying he was in jail. Stop playing with your fucking fanny pack. Could you please stop? The world hears your fanny pack.
Do they?
What is that? Is that a fanny pack?
That was my Buster Crab belt.
You wearing a girdle, Ray Longo? What do you think? You're still on set and Kevin can't wait?
Is there something wrong with wearing a girdle?
I'm getting chubby again. One of my
You want to borrow this?
One of my students, my black belt
It'll
from
hold your
Brazil.
lower back in place.
My black belt from Brazil, black belt from Peru. He's one of my Peruvian guys. A good guy, Izzy. Oh, Matthew, you gain weight again. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I go, I lose it quick. He goes, yeah, you just was skinny. I'm like,
you know those Peruvian guys
like,
shoot from the hip.
I go, Izzy. I go, I'm wearing a big jacket. I'm trying to be like, dude, I'm trying to take my big jacket off. And he's like, yeah, but you lose quick. You lose. And I'm like, fuck. No wonder why I was depressed.